So the young ace for the Tampa Bay Rays caused quite a stir, didn't he? Blake Snell. I'm going to talk about him. I'm Matt Levine right here on the 954sports.com YouTube channel. Thanks for dropping by, paying a visit. Please hit like, subscribe. I appreciate all your support. So Blake Snell, 27 years young, and an outstanding pitcher. Can't take that away from the young man. A lefty, a southpaw who's accomplished some big things in his 4 years in the bigs. 38-28 lifetime. Best year, Cy Young Award winner in the American League. 21-5 in 2018. A sparkling 1.89 ERA in that glorious campaign. 221 Ks. And was just fabulous. 27 years young once again. So he's got a lot of baseball ahead of him. A little side note, only 3-6 against my New York Yankees. Had to throw that in there. But the guy has dominated just about everyone else. And the best is yet to come, I would think. So they have the best of the best when it comes to the contracts. Most of them guaranteed, right? I'm talking big stars. The only major league sport in North America, in the United States, not playing on a capped split revenue pool. And of course, with COVID-19, we're doing out Major League Baseball. We're doing out without seeing the likes of Blake Snell and the talents. So I have no problem with, again, his talent, with him looking to earn the most coin he can for those talents. What I do have a problem with is some of the comments he made today and the insensitivity. Now, the on-the-field stuff, the fiscal standpoint, I said for the third time, no problem. In fact, I have no problem with him being able to speak his mind. The only problem I have about some of the comments he made, which I'm going to show you right now, if you haven't seen them, you can read enough through these, which he said on his Twitch channel today. And there you have the quote, right? "I'm not playing unless I get mine," said Snell. "That's just the way it is for me. Like, I'm sorry you guys think differently, but the risk is way higher and the amount of money I'm making is way lower. Why would I think about doing that?" He has every right to state his opinion. And if he feels unsafe, just like we all do, about going to the workplace and you think it's life and death. I mean, this is it's his life. It's his ball game, so to speak. Like we all have, control over some things in our destiny, right? But a little sensitivity. A lot of sensitivity needed right now. When you talk about a high-priced, high-profile athlete in today's world being completely out of touch, well, Blake Snell with those comments is the epitome of that. I'm not one to shout expletives. I will not do it. I can't shout acronyms. And he's entitled to his opinion. I'm entitled to mine. And again, he has every right to say what he feels, but I think he should not broadcast that. Not now. Not during COVID-19. Just in case you don't know this, Blake Snell. The last 8 weeks, there are nearly 37 million folks reported to be unemployed. COVID-19 is taking down one industry after another. My livelihood, I've felt it. And I'm one that's dealing with many fears that Americans are. I'm grateful to be working. My situation is my situation. Blake Snell's situation, and the world he lives in, it's relative to his world that he lives in. And the way he feels, he's entitled to it. I would not know how he feels as a big league, good living. right? But again, my opinion is he should kind of keep it to himself, not broadcast it. So again, don't use. There are very few people. There are millions and millions that have dedication. Their health and well-being, their safety, it's got to be the number one concern. I cannot blame any of these guys who are worried about, something fatal happening, God forbid, or getting sick, or, having to perform at their best when you have the burden of all the things going on. Unfortunate news and being thrust into that with COVID-19 and, in unorthodox environments they'll be in. I'm sure, there'll be modifications that make it very uncomfortable. And that may hinder. So on that subject, I think he should. You see it flashing right there. Okay? Just imagine, right? There was a day, an age, when professional athletes made a somewhat modest income. I mean, relatively speaking. I mean, they were well off the best of the best, but, relatively speaking for the times. And my point being, there was a day and age when guys gave up money, fame, fortune, and sacrificed this as well as the opportunity to play ball, to defend their country. For instance, there are over 500 veterans that played baseball, Major League Baseball, and served during World War II. In the Hall of Fame alone, there are 1,266 veterans that served in the armed forces. A couple to talk about, I'll show you. How about Ted Williams, right? Teddy Ballgame, the splendid splinter. There you see him pictured. One of the great all-time hitters. Well, he had to leave Major League Baseball twice in his career, including a 3-year span during the prime of his career to serve in World War II. And then he left for a partial season years later to serve in Korea. A decorated veteran, flew 39 missions with the Marine Aircraft Group 33. Retired a captain, was forced out of the military because of an ear infection. He received the Air Medal 3 times. So, Ted Williams, one of the great all-time players, right? Amazingly enough, he missed a total of 5 seasons with his service. Still managed a .344 career average, 2,654 hits. Maybe an argument for another day. If you would have had those 5 seasons, he probably would have been the all-time hits leader. Maybe Pete Rose would have been chasing Ted Williams instead of Ty Cobb. But how about that? Sacrificed the prime of his career to serve his country 2 times. And a decorated veteran. Another one, this guy right here, Bob Feller. You believe he came up to the big leagues, won 5 games against 3 losses as a 17-year-old in 1938. Had a handful, more than a handful of seasons under his belt as a Cleveland Indian. When a day after Pearl Harbor, December 8th, 1941, the Indians, they offered him a $100,000 contract, which in 1941 was worth, with inflation, would be worth $1.8 million today. So they offered him a contract bonus. He declined. Instead, he joined the Navy and saw battle more than a handful of times in the South Pacific. There you see him pictured there. Another decorated war veteran. The Cleveland Ace, one of the great athletes in Cleveland, Ohio sports. So these guys, right? Some of the legends of the past sacrificed for their country. And then you get this guy here, Blake Snell, coming off like a real spoiled brat with this comment. When it comes to his comments, I already told you how I feel. There's another saying that kind of came to mind today when I read him. I don't know how he makes it into this video or, into this report, into this discussion. But Derek Coleman, back in the early mid-90s, I want to say 94, Dwayne Shinsis, remember him? Maybe not. Had missed a practice when Derek Coleman was part of the New Jersey Nets, and Derek Coleman was one talented power forward. Should have been a lot better than he was, A great rebounder, great basketball player at Syracuse. But they asked him about it, and he told the reporters what he felt. And I remember him saying, "Whoop-de-damn-do." I think that also applies to Blake Snell. I'm going to give you one more name I'll throw in there. And that's Forrest Gump. Remember what Forrest Gump said? That's all I have to say about that. That wraps it up for me, folks.